welcome all the eminent guests, delegates, participants across various virtual platforms to today's program. The Web Clinic series initiative is aimed at harnessing science, technology, and innovation related to social infrastructure sector. Since its launch on 15 October, we are now in the seventh week of Web Clinic series. And the theme for this week is Socially Relevant STI for Social Infrastructure Sector. These deliberations are looking for opportunities in locally productive and globally connected models, S&T interventions, and viable solutions for linkages for setting up the business, need-based scaling up of technologies, and so on. The web clinic is being hosted, implemented, and managed by India Science in Technology and Innovation Portal, that is ISTI Portal. The portal is centralized one-stop repository system for scientific research activities, which include information on their intricate details. ISTI Portal is an attempt to address the gaps of identified issues and commute the impact of funding to enhance effectiveness. The web clinic is being relayed on DST YouTube channel and ISTI Facebook page. Let us tune into this web clinic series. The session moderator are Dr. Gopi Krishna, Senior Scientist, Seed Division, DST, and Mr. Rubab Sood from FICCI. I welcome Dr. Debapriya Datta, sir, Head Seed Division and Advisor DST, to set the context and share the thought process behind the idea and execution of this web clinic series. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, just a minute.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Thank you all. What is this? That is not showing. Yeah. So thank you all. I hope you can see my screen now.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And thank you, Namaskar, and good afternoon to all of you to be here on the 7th week of this web clinic journey of Science-Society-Setu for Atma Nirbhar Bharat. Since this week we are focusing, this is the second week of the social infrastructure, and this week we are going to focus on a specific, the social infrastructure requirement and opportunity for the specially, the challenged, the specially enabled people, as well as the, the women, and here, as you know, like many of you have joined, the first time here, especially I welcome Dr. Naval Kapoor, the Joint Secretary of Ministry of Tribal Affairs. In spite of a very challenging time conflict, I am really obliged to Dr. Kapoor that he responded to our request and to be here, being a very important stakeholders for the Science-Society-Setu, because he looks after the entire welfare of the the tribal the community all over the India. So many of you know, like, as you are a partner over this 7 week, but the people who have joined the first time, why we started this webinar clinic, because as you know that the government of India, especially in response to the post-COVID economic recovery, has announced the Atma Nirbhar Bharat the package, which is more focused towards the physical infrastructure building. And we from the Ministry of Science and Technology believed that the Atma Nirbhar Bharat cannot have this physical infrastructure, needs to be supplemented with the knowledge infrastructure development across the different sectors of the society. And while doing so, we observed that significant systemic gaps in the science and technology absorption capacity of the community. The knowledge updations of the voluntary organizations and the startups who are working as a setu between the the science and technology of the society, and the orientations of our knowledge organizations towards the local the problem solving. So what we are trying to address is this the Atma Nirbhar Bharat, the technology-driven systems, and the infrastructure, the social infrastructure component of that, so that we are looking at it in a very socially, the relevant way, so that the science, technology, and innovations can be harnessed for better quality of the life and the inclusiveness of the socioeconomic well-being of all, and especially the disadvantaged, the part of the society. And the fostering, and as you see here, that with these different objectives, we have launched this as a web clinic, taking the advantage of the new normal of a virtual world, and we call it web clinic because so that we can, start and initiate a dialogue between all the stakeholders, that is the community, the community, the NGOs, the startups, even the international developmental community, the different government departments, and the knowledge organizations. The thematic areas with which we are aligning of the Atma Nirbhar Bharat, those 5 areas of agriculture and allied sectors, we spent the first 3 weeks on that. MSME and economic sectors, we've spent 2 weeks on that. And this is the 6th and 7th weeks on the social infrastructure sectors. And 7th week, we are focusing, as I've told already, the special, the specially enabled peoples, the social infrastructure, and the opportunities and the women. And the last week, we will have in cross-sectoral areas. And also the last day, there will be Professor Vijayaraghavan, our principal scientific advisor to the government of India, will be here for to share his view of follow-up of what we need to do. So as we're seeing on the right hand side, if you're joining first, that we are every week in 2 days we are organizing these deliberations to develop a cross-bridge collaborations. The first day is an STI for the society, where the knowledge organizations are speaking to the sharing with the NGOs and the communities that what are the technologies are there to take it up for the empowerment. And the second day, the NGOs and the community representatives and the startups, they are talking about that what are the areas and the problems they are looking towards these solutions, and what if they have technologies, how they can collaborate with the knowledge organizations to improve that. So what are the questions obviously is mine, that what is the outcome of that? Outcome is that we are trying to harness the what are the new ideas and the new ways of opportunities that are emerging, which we will include in our the evolution process of the SID division. As an example, we could find it out that over this 6 week, there is a strong voice for the land to land to land to lab program for the knowledge co-creations with the community. Program for improvement of the locally produced technologies in collaborations with the knowledge organizations. Consider the environmental performance along with the social and the economic development. There's need for establishment of a one-stop technology marts for the NGOs and these, the local companies. Need of appropriate technologies in diverse sectors. So in that context, the requirement of the livelihood mapping becoming more and more important. And establishing virtual technology incubation facilities, scaling up of the technologies at the manufacturing level, especially at the local level, certifications of the rural products in order to make them, be marketable, and connecting the startups in the livelihood sectors. Some of the, the interventions, ideas, and opportunities we see. There are many different types of the collaborations, the opportunity we found, like, the convergence in the government level with the different line departments like animal husbandry, fisheries, MSME. Like 2 weeks, the Joint Secretary MSME was with us, and he offered the Sputnik clusters for an experimentations in the context of the Aspire program, Gram Vikas Yojana programs. There are many, the startups and the NGOs are getting interested to collaborate in order to, take the emerging technology for the benefit of the society. Many of the international organizations like the UNDP, through their accelerations lab, have initiated the emerging technologies for the benefit of the larger society. They are interested to scale it up with our the NGO network, along with the many other knowledge organizations. ICRISAT similarly have shown their interest. there are different new ways of collaborations has emerged. Like we found out the collaboration project between the the government knowledge organizations and the Narita services is startups, and the ICRs organizations and the NGOs. Similarly, network projects between the NGOs and the ICR CIFAs, and these are some of the examples. Many other things are. So the last week, when we organized the 6th week on the the economy, and so what we found that these are some of the opportunities of the knowledge organizations and the NGOs. We see that we discussed in a very important areas of the societal capital as a nutrition as a societal capital, and the new the emerging technologies for strengthening that. These are some of these different the partners and the interventions we found it out. Similarly, in the second day when the NGOs spoke about, we found that there is a for the social capitals in terms of physical as well as the the information technology, the opportunities are there. So this after as a follow of these discussions, we want and we thank Vigyan Prashar being a partner to provide this dynamic platform which we are using now in the 7th week. So as a curating the platform for the problems and the challenges, ideas and questions, which we can take it by the different the funding agencies can take it up from there and can fund and can again the solutions can be curated in one place. So overall, this is the context with that, and I request my colleague Dr. Gopi Krishna to take it over and start roll the ball for today's deliberations. Dr. Gopi Krishna, please.
Thank you,
Dr.
sir.
Gopi?
Yeah, thank you, sir. So am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, Gopi.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So on the behalf of DST, Vigyan Prashar, office of the PSA, PICI, ESCO, WWF, Agni, I welcome you all for the 7th week session on Science-Society-Setu for Atma Nirbhar Bharat. Like some of you were there in the last week's deliberations also, so where we had discussed on creating and enabling infrastructure at grassroots level in building capacities of local communities and organizations through a two-way knowledge transfer between knowledge institutions and community-based organizations. So this week, the sessions are mostly focused on creating infrastructure and services that enhances the skills of most vulnerable sections of the society, whereby these interventions we improve their socioeconomic conditions, and we will also deliberate on mainstreaming them with the equity and inclusion in the developmental process through inputs of course, science and technology. So today we are having our first lecture from Dr. Shashibala Singh, Director, NIPER, Hyderabad. So Dr. Singh will be speaking on women technology parks and role of emerging technologies for empowering women. As you all know, this WTP program is a flagship program of DST, where there is basically convergence of diverse location-specific technologies, where we empower women with the inputs of science and technology. And we also create a single window platform coupled with forward and backward linkages where we create social enterprises. So I request you, ma'am, to kindly make the presentation on WTPs and emerging technologies. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Gopi Krishna, and namaskar to everyone who has joined us online, and very good afternoon. I want to sort of thank Dr. Datta, Dr. Gopi Krishnan, Dr. Indu Puri, Dr. Uma Malik, having me included in this program. And as has been said, I will be talking about Women Technology Park and role of emerging technologies. Okay, so next slide. So Women Technology Park, as has been said, is the flagship program of DST under C division. And the aim of this this park is almost there in almost all the states of the country, and some of them are doing exceedingly well with the help of an intervention of technologies which has been imparted by the technologists, and they are being propagated and promoted and are being reaches to some of the remotest place, and also for the women who are becoming part of this program. This Women Technology Park main aim is to sort of have technologies which are matured for their promotion, demonstration, and also for improvisation. And it is for capacity building and skill development. And that also not only does this, it leads to income generation, creating social infrastructure, livelihood creation, market linkages, and institutional linkages. This is how the women, which is the last in the line, also become part of this Women Technology Park, learns techniques, technologies, is able to develop product, and also is able to sell these products, and is able to change her socioeconomic status, her social status, and also is able to improve not only her quality of life, but the quality of life of all the people around her. Today, next slide. So, this is this Women Technology Park, and when I look at this, there are four main stakeholders for this. And there are some gaps which exist in somewhere or the other between the inventor and industry and social entrepreneur, even at the end user. If you look at this, all four of them need to work together. There should be forward linkages, there should be backward linkages, and there should be a constant coordination, dialogue between all four of them. Only then this whole Women Technology Park can be a game changer, of the women who can really become part of the national development and can contribute equally to the GDP of the nation. So, all these four stakeholders have different aims and objectives. However, when they combine together, they can really be a game changer of the whole process. Inventor is the person who has developed a technology. When the technology is developed, the inventor has a limited capability. He or she needs to scale up this. So one is looking for the industry. From the industry, how do this technology or this product or process reaches the end user? Here I'm targeting end user as the women who are part of this society. Society is of women. And social entrepreneur is the person who can really bring out very strong linkages between the industry and the end user. So all these four have to work together in a coordinated way so that the final outcome of this whole process can come in a way which benefits the women and benefits the nation at large. Next. Technology Park, we have some guiding philosophy. I have been part of this Women Technology Park for almost 3 to 4 years, and I have seen how these Women Technology Park are spreading across many cities of many states of India, and some of them have done very well, and they have become a role model for other Women Technology Park to follow. So the technology is something which is ever changing. What we are talking of technology today, tomorrow it may become absolute. So we need to sort of update our knowledge about technology. And technology, here we are talking about technology which can leverage or which can enable a woman to perform better, to produce better, to increase the productivity of wherever she is working. So here we need to see Women Technologies Park are there, but for any country to prosper, there are three things: science, technology, innovation. These are three key drivers for any country to be economically prosper. And this is what we need to integrate the technology with the women. And technology can be a great enabler. But whenever we talk of technology, some people take it as a threat also. They feel if the technology is there, the human resource, so much of a number will not be required. But I think all the technologies, we should look at them as an opportunity to grow, as an opportunity to scale up things, as an opportunity to build more relationships, as an opportunity to become a socio-economically strong country. So there are four things which women need to focus on. Women who are part of this whole process of Women Technology Park, first is they should update themselves with the technology. And this may not be, a social entrepreneur can really play a very big role. Then ecosystem, networking. Women, as I've seen, they are very poor networkers because they will come, work and go back. Networking is very important so that, you are keeping updated what is happening around, what has changed, what need to be sort of adopted. And also it is important that we engage engage our colleagues to change for everyone's benefit. We have to look for a win-win situation. All the changes which are being brought in terms of technology, in terms of process, should be for the benefit of each and every woman who is part of that process. So the last point which I want to say, women can humanize technology. Women, when they come to a workplace, when they are part of this technology process, they bring in different set of values to the table. So they can sort of can be trained, and they can adopt technology also at a very fast rate. Next slide. So there are a lot of technologies which are mature. There are technologies which are emerging, but these are the technologies which I'm talking of just 4 of them today. I'm sure there are many more which are being already part of the Women Technology Park, and there will be many more which will become part of the Women Technology Park. But I thought of just 4 of them, which I would like to share with all of you. One is the smart and precision farming. This is the emerging technologies, but has a lot of hopes and a lot of promises which it holds. Solar energy. I think we have been talking of solar energy. Government is playing a lot of emphasis on solar energy, and we know the fresh food, at least 30 to 40% of the food, fresh food, get wasted, especially fruits and vegetables. And solar energy can play a very important role. Then green buildings. This concept again is there. This is again a very mature technology. There are few states in India which are doing very well in terms of green buildings. I think we need to scale up, and we need this technology also to become part of many of the people, especially in the villages. They are very low cost technology, because we need to think how do we imbibe or embed those technologies which are low cost, because at the same time we should be looking for low cost sustainable technology. Then radiation in food processing. This technology is again very old. About 60 countries all over the world are using it. Initially it is very high investment, but then when it is used with the optimal use, the return on investments are quite cost effective. Next. So current status of some of this technology, like smart farming. Smart farming is nothing but it is remote monitoring of various processes like soil mapping, soil health, the temperature, moisture, water content, the level of fertilizers, and all this. Next slide. So in this, what we are doing is using all this, and especially to the Internet of Things, one can minimize the use of fertilizers, one can improve productivity, and can also make sure the soil health is also maintained. Next. Either the solar radiation technology, again, it's a time-tested technology. Even government has a mission by 2022, they want to install 100 gigawatts grid connected to solar power. Here, I'm just trying to emphasize solar dryers, which again is a technology, low-cost, sustainable technology, can be used in many places within India, and the main principle on which it works is the greenhouse effect. Again, it's a low-cost, return on investments are very good. Within 1 or 2 months, one can recoup the cost which has been invested for this. Next. Just to give you an example, when I was in Leh as a director of Dehat, we also used this solar-based greenhouses, and we were able to boost the vegetable production even in the peak winters when outside temperature was 0 degree or -4 degrees, using different kind of greenhouses based on solar energy. Next. Green building. Again, as I said, it's a good concept. Here, green building means making water availability, energy availability. Also, it causes decrease in use of fossil fuel, and also waste handling, and all this again is a part of green building. And this again, a lot of states have taken an advantage of this, especially Karnataka, Haryana, Tamil Nadu, and UP. Next. Radiation technology, I said this, when we do this radiation technology, it has many good advantages. First is it reduces shelf life of the fruits and vegetables are increased. Even the shelf life of cereals and pulses can be increased. It ensures food quality and safety. Microbial load on the product gets reduced. Supply chain can be managed because of the increased shelf life. And because of this, even now, India is exporting mango which are irradiated, so that the shelf life increases, quality is maintained. Next. So all these technologies, they are socio-economically good. Return on investments are very high. Even for radiation technology, I mean, as I said, the initial cost of installation is very high, but then I would like to propose here two models. It can be public-private partnership, or it can be on GOCO model, government owned and company operated. So if it is optimally utilized, the cost of 1 kg of radiation can be less than 1 rupee also. So solar technology, again, as we know very well, I think all of you are aware how good solar technology is. We need to scale up this technology, especially in the villages where solar energy, most of the states are very good. Then smart and precision farming, again, we should need to have a model of co-innovation approach for this. So the social entrepreneur or maybe corporate sector can become part of this. Green building technology is already mature technology and is available. Next. So techno-economic viability is there for all the technologies, and technology which I said is radiation technology. Even in refrigeration, the cost of 1 kg of material comes to about 40 rupees per kg. So that way, most of the technologies are socio-economically viable. The cost is very economical, and they can be adopted, they can be scaled up, and they can become part of most of the villages where women are there. And this can really help women in terms of their health, nutrition, their socioeconomic status, their social status, their financial status, and also the infrastructure development can take place through this. And then there can be reverse process from the city, the women or the people can look towards the villages. Next. So what this, out of the 4 stakeholders, I feel the social entrepreneur is a very important stakeholder, and nowadays very young, talented people are becoming social entrepreneurs, and they are promoting and driving social change in the society. And it has really potential to pay off in terms of transformational benefit to the society.
Madam, can you please conclude in 1 minute?
Okay. And just to give you Neha Upadhyay, one of the social entrepreneurs, she has provided this low-cost solar drive. For this, she was awarded Social Impact Award for 2017. Next. So what is more important is to bridge this gap. What is most important is how do we bring willingness to work, and how do we sort of cross-bridge this collaboration. For so greater collaboration across functional boundaries, we need to sort of coordinate, talk to each other, and also the strength of the team comes only by, supporting each other, communicating well, and doing your share in a very coordinated. And for this, for adoption or dissemination of technology, there are 3 processes: adoption, implementation, and institutionalization. These are very, very important. And again, I feel social entrepreneur can play a very, very, very important role, or NGO can play a very Next. So there are many stakeholders. First is the political will, which is there because that's why we are holding this seminars for almost for more than a month. So the policymakers do recognize the need of this acceptance by society. Then collaboration is again very important, and especially with the public partnership, public-private partnership, social entrepreneur, others. And also, it is we should be able to value the opportunity cost and their efforts, so that more technology park can be developed to foster, incubate young women entrepreneurs. Next. the message is we need to take science to the society. If we are doing science, if we are doing and putting it in our own four wall, will not matter, will not yield anything. We need to interlace science, society with science. And this is the message I want to give through my presentation. Next. And this is the slide I like the most. And it speaks volume about the women capacity, women empowerment. And I think it is only the technology can empower women. Only the technology is the way to empower women and make them more strong. And it is through technology we should create social infrastructure and make their life better in terms of health, nutrition, and also the quality of life of everyone. With this, I want to thank each one of you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. You had given an elaborate presentation on how women technology parks help in improving the livelihoods of women and provide greater autonomy and contribute to the national development. Your ideas in bridging the systemic gaps and guiding principles are definitely of great help to all the stakeholders in further strengthening the program at systemic level. The details on specific technologies you gave will give an opportunity for scaling up both for the institutes and NGOs. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
The next presentation is by Dr. Naval Kapoor. Dr. Kapoor is an IAS officer and currently Joint Secretary in the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Dr. Kapoor is playing a significant role in economic, educational, and social development of tribal population in the country through various development interventions in critical sectors through specially tailored schemes. Dr. Kapoor is also responsible for monitoring the 41 departments entrusted with the implementation of Tribal Subplan Scheme, having an approximate outlay of 52,000 crores, including Department of Science and Technology. Now I request Dr. Kapoor to kindly make a presentation on role of STI in tribal development. Dr. Kapoor, please.
Thank you, Dr. Gopi Krishna, Dr. Datta, Dr. Uma Malik, and all the participants for giving Ministry of Tribal Affairs this opportunity to give presentation on STI for society, social infrastructure sector. Next slide, please. Today, the focal theme are three areas: harnessing STIs for strengthening need-based infrastructure for equitable and inclusive society, enabling, next slide, please. Enabling ST capacity of NGOs, institutions, and other stakeholders. But I'm more interested in identifying new ideas and partners to bridge systemic gaps. Next slide. I'll give brief background of the ministry. If we see, tribals are about 8.6% of the total population, 10.45 crores. Ministry of Tribal Affairs came into existence in 1999. But two important things are there. As per business rule, no doubt, Ministry of Tribal Affairs is the nodal ministry. But as Dr. Gopi Krishna said, that there are 41 ministries who are contributing a stipulated component of their total budgetary plan for the welfare of the tribals. For example, Science and Technology Ministry is playing awareness about science and technology. Health is health, education, IT, roads, infrastructure. Everybody is contributing a major component, about 8 to 10%, depending upon the budget allocated by the NITI Aayog. And Ministry of Tribal Affairs is monitoring this tribal subplan. Next slide. So you will see that the budget as far as the tribals are concerned is almost 2 lakh crores, almost 75-80% rest with the state government and balances with the ministries as well as Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Ministry of Tribal Affairs, next slide please. Ministry of Tribal Affairs is only having 4%, but more important part is, next slide, more important part is the monitoring part which the tribal ministry is doing. Despite such a huge budget, the tribals are lagging in almost all socio-economic, health and poverty indicators. From the slide you can see literacy gap is 14%, poverty gap is 19%, and infant mortality rate, the gap is 3.4%. What is the reason? Next slide. So despite tribal areas being rich in forest, minus forest produce, Vandhan, Minerals, they are naturally organic. There are a lot of medicinal plants, scenic beauty. From the tourism point of view, rich cultural heritage. Why we face this paradox of poverty amongst plenty? What are the reasons for this paradox? Next slide, please. If we go to the schemes of the ministry has about 7,500 crore of budget. And out of that, almost 3,700 crore goes on scholarship. We have about 275 Eklavya residential school working. We are giving for livelihood, for education, health sector, culture. I'd like to point out here that the Tribal Research Institute and Center of Excellence is one such scheme of the ministry where all the NGOs and one NGO scheme, all the NGOs, they can participate with the ministry. And at present, we have 38 such participants whom we designate as Center of Excellences. And through Tribal Research Institute also, various such joint initiatives are going on. Next slide, please. So we have digital end-to-end digitalized all these schemes of the ministry. So next slide, please. So if you see our dashboard, this dashboard captures data from 18 initiatives and schemes of the ministry. We have various portals for that. And the entire data of these schemes is captured centrally on this performance dashboard, Empowering Tribals, Transforming India. This dashboard is dynamic. You can go up to the district level in respect of NGOs, in respect of each schemes, how many students are studying, which course they are studying, from which state they are coming from, which district they are coming, and in which country they are going, where are the EMRS, what are the health indicators, and how various organizations can partner in health education. We have one scheme of going online as leaders with Facebook. So large number of private organizations, next slide, are participating with us. These are some of the IT initiatives of the ministry in respect of these schemes. Next slide. All these initiatives and schemes you can go through on our website, tribal.nic.in, and the dashboard.tribal.gov.in. Next slide, please. If we talk about the health sector, we have developed this portal, Tribal Health and Nutrition Portal, with the help of Piramal Foundation, who is also our Center of Excellence. This portal was launched on August 20, and the dashboard was launched by CEO Niti Aayog in first week of August. So this not only has a knowledge repository, dashboard, sickle cell sport corner, it maps all the partners from the India which are partnering with us in the area of health. Otherwise, also, those partners who are not taking money from us, they are also enlisted on this. If you are doing, your organization is doing something relating to tribal health, next slide, please. You can upload your details on this portal. We are coming out with the Alek quarterly newsletter, a magazine also, where we are giving the details of our partners who are working on tribal health. NIPER is one such institute which is working on tribal healers, on tribal medicines, what are the herbs being used by tribal healers. So similarly, we are working on repository of indigenous medicinal knowledge of tribals and healing practices. We are developing curriculum for tribal healers, a comprehensive health action plan also we are working, where medical colleges and NGOs with small hospitals, they can participate and partner with us. I'll take few examples. Pravara Institute of Medical Sciences in Maharashtra, then Patanjali Research Institute, Ma Amritamai Institute, AIMS Jodhpur. Infomed is one such organization which is working on sickle cell through yoga. So next slide, please. As you know, sickle cell is one of the genetic disease which is highly prevalent among scheduled tribes. If you see the red patch, this is the area starting from Gujarat and going up to Odisha. This is one area. Almost 20% of the sickle cell children, they die by the age of 2 years. So we are working with large number of organizations who are working on sickle cell with us. Next slide. We had collaboration with Department of Biotechnology for mapping incidence of sickle cell trait. We also screened almost 1.16 crores tribal from the age of 15 to 24, and we found that almost 10 lakh they were tested positive, and about 50,000 they had sickle cell disease. So we have also made a task force with the help of Piramal, FICCI, state governments, and National Institute of Tribal Health, NERTH, which comes under ICMR. Next slide. As far as clean water is concerned, no doubt the Ministry of Water Resources, Jal Shakti Mission is the nodal ministry for providing water. But we have also taken a few initiatives in this regard. Next slide. In Leh and Ladakh last year, when Honorable Minister had visited Leh, you must have heard of Sonam Wangchuk. There we made these ice stupas in 26 villages, and we were able to save almost 60 million liters of water this winter. So this year also we are going to develop about 25 more stupas, and this is totally with the community partnership and with the help of locals who were trained by SACMOL and their team. And you won't imagine that the amount which we gave for creating one ice stupa was less than 1 lakh of rupees. So in almost 10-15 lakh of rupees, we were able to give water in 26 villages, and this is a very good example of Atma Nirbhar Bharat and how science and technology and innovations, they can be useful for welfare of our people. Next slide. With the help of UNDP, we are rejuvenating the drying streams which are drying. So harnessing streams are the perennial source of water. So last year we have almost taken up these 400 streams, and on our dashboard you can go to the site of these streams website, where you can see all these streams. They are geotagged, and this not only helps in redressing the water scarcity, but drinking water for irrigation and for other purposes also. Next slide. Large number of organizations are working with us in affirmative action. Going online as leader is the one program which we are jointly doing with Facebook. This is totally affirmative action program, fully funded by Facebook. This is a digital entrepreneurship program where we are planning to give training to 5,000 entrepreneurs in next 5 years. This year, you would be surprised to know that even during COVID, we got 31,000 applications from mentees, and from mentors, we got a very enthusiastic response. We got 5,000 applications, and we are very soon kickstarting this program. The distribution of mobile phone has already been started by Facebook. They are giving a smartphone, and every mentor will give 2 hours in a week, and curriculum is already designed, and we have already started the interactions with our mentees. Next. With the help of Tata Foundation, when we went to Ladakh, we found that there is almost 10,000 tons of apricot, fresh apricot, but they did not have technology to dry this. So the apricot either used to get black when it was sun-dried, or it was very hard. So Tata Foundation started working with us, and you can see in 20 villages in Sham Valley and Tharu Valley, we are working on vegetables. In Sham Valley, we are working on apricot, and in Changthang, we are working on this pashmina wool. we are seeing that because, you know, in winter, the winters are, my temperature goes up to minus 35 degrees. So with the help of Tata Foundation and SACMOL, we have devised a technology that without use of air conditioning, the temperature can be maintained inside about 24 to 25. No need of electricity or so that is a, you can see all the details on our website. So when we were examining this project, we found that there is one codling mouth is there, which is an insect pact found in apples in Ladakh. That is why the apricot as well as this apple is banned outside the Ladakh, and 30-40% of this goes waste. So now we are tying up with the Ministry of Agriculture to see why this moth is affecting in Ladakh only, because of this the export is also banned, and the movement of these fruits and apples outside Ladakh is banned. Next slide, please. These are some of the photos how the Tata Foundation has done in respect of apricots, vegetables. Next slide, and pashmina wool. With the next slide, we have developed collaborations with various COEs. Next slide, with various COEs. With the help of BAF, we have worked out a next slide, with comprehensive village development plan in Gujarat in one of the villages. Then aspirational district Gajapati is being done by AFC Limited. Human Development Index we are working on with IHD Delhi. Data Sciences, IIT Delhi is working with us. Indian Institute of Public Administration is working on tribal talent pool, these students who are doing PhD. Organic clusters with Art of Living Foundation. Then entrepreneurship skill of tribals with SOCHM FICCI. And on tribal migrants, we are working with Desha Foundation, and we have a Shram Shakti portal also for tribal migrants. Next slide, please. So this is, in fact, we had requested the Department of Science and Technology to work with us to identify and geotag the high potential investment and opportunity districts. What are the raw materials? What are the products? And who are the entrepreneurs? So this project has recently been given to Ernst & Young, and last time I was thankful to Datta Saab, who had jointly given the presentation before Honorable Minister regarding this project. Next slide. We have done village-wise gap analysis in respect of 1,70,000 villages on the basis of Antodaya Mission data. You can see how many villages don't have all-weather road. Out of 1,70,000, 40,000 villages don't have weather road. 50,000 villages, they don't have internal roads. No transport facility in 35,000 villages. No drainage system in 58,000 villages. Likewise, the household with kacha walls and kacha roof are 91 lakh. So on 17 parameters, we have done this village-wide gap analysis, and our entire tribal sub-plan, we are requesting all the ministries to go through this gap analysis and all our partners, so that various parameters where the gaps are there, we have to work on that. Next slide, please. We are doing research through 26 Tribal Research Institute and 38 COEs. The entire research which has been done in last few years, we have started documenting it. It is available on dashboard. You can go to the dashboard and link document tribal digital document repository. You will get the complete details on that. This is the next slide. Then National Tribal Migration Support Portal. The portal is already developed, but we are just tying up with the sectoral ministries and state governments how to capture demographic profile, skill mapping, migration pattern of the migrants, so that when they come from the originating state to the destination states, they know what are their rights, what are their facilities available there, and if they have any problem, what is the recourse available for them for redressal. Next slide, please. we are also in COVID working on a national virtual art and cultural contest. As you know, they have a rich cultural heritage. There are 700 tribals. So each tribal has got 2 or 3 dances. So we are also doing online competition and cultural contest through these portals. So next slide. So in vision ahead, as far as education, livelihood, and health, these are 3 main important sectors. On a very large scale, in respect of our Eklavya schools and ashram schools, we are planning to give them tabs. CDAC is working with us on giving learning management system e-Basta. We are doing the classes also. We are tying up with the Navodaya Vidyalaya and other societies who are working in this area. Then comprehensive livelihood development plan with forward and backward linkages of tribal producer group, then zero budgeting, natural farming, promotion of Indian cows and traditional crops. Health, I have already briefed you on 3 main areas like tribal healers, then sickle cell anemia, tuberculosis. We are also working on comprehensive development of aspirational districts and Adarsh Gram Yojana. Next slide. So I'll not take much of your time, but I'd like to say the vision of Honorable Prime Minister is, he said on one of the meeting on 18th December 2009 that we have to introduce innovative business models, dismantle inefficient and burdensome monopolies, and encourage investment and participation of the private sectors as partners. Therefore, I'm asking all of you, you just go to our websites on the portal. When you go there, you will see where you can partner with us. Next slide. Ministry of Tribal Affairs, we got this Scotch Award of Gold category on this IT-enabled scholarship schemes. Niti Aayog has judged DBT portal of Ministry of Tribal Affairs as the best practice in e-governance. It has not only brought transparency, accountability, and radical improvement in social delivery. Likewise, our NGO portal and other portals, they have been appreciated by DBT mission as well as Niti Aayog. All our schemes, now we have a dedicated dashboard also, and on PM dashboard also, all the indicators and achievements, outcome indicators, they are being shown there. Next slide. As far as the data governance quality index is there, Niti Aayog has judged all the ministries on these 6 themes: data generation, data quality, use of technology, data analysis, data security, and best practices. And they had given certain weightage to each of these themes. Next slide. Ministry of Tribal Affairs ranked 8th amongst all 65 ministries with score of 3.19 out of 5. And we were 3rd in social sector and 5th in use of technology with score of 3.7, and data security and HR capacity. We were amongst the top rankers. This is only with participation and support of DBT mission, Niti Aayog, NIC, and all line ministries like DST. I'm once again thankful to Dr. Datta, Dr. Gopi Krishna, and Malik Madam for giving us this opportunity to present not only the problems of the tribals and what we are doing through digitalization of these schemes and use of technology. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. That's a fantastic presentation from you regarding the activities of the ministry. I thank you again for giving a brief introduction of the ministry and the detailed information on various aspects of livelihood system for empowering the tribals through science and technology. Your details on socioeconomic gaps will definitely help and provide us to work on these gaps and provide sustainable solutions. And I'm again grateful if you can help us in converging with your tribal research institutes for working on location-specific programs. And it is pertinent here to mention, sir, that we're also working on some aspects of tribal health like sickle cell anemia and this documentation of this traditional medicine practices, tribal art and craft, where we can have some sort of collaboration with the ministry. And you had also very pertinently mentioned the various challenges pertaining to the tribal, and I'm definitely hopeful that this will open a basket of opportunities for the knowledge institutes as well as the NGOs who are working with us to come with sustainable solutions, and they can further collaborate with DST. Not only with DST, they can also collaborate with Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Thank you once again, sir. Thank you.
I will just take 1 minute, and I'd like my heartfelt thank to Dr. Kapoor, because I know that how hard pressed he is, but he has responded to our request. Thank you very much, Dr. Kapoor, and we find many way, the places of convergence in order to create the value for the tribal community and learn from them. And I will come back to you and later. Because today you have given a comprehensive pictures, and we will come back to you with more specific ideas. Thank you again, Dr.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Accessible India, Empowered India. These words of Honorable Prime Minister underpin the importance of mainstreaming Divyangjan in the development process by creating access and inclusion through science and technology. Our next presentation is from Professor Anupam Basu, who will speak on technology innovations for Divyangjan. Professor Basu is the current director of NIT Durgapur, as well as he is professor at Department of Computer Science and Engineering, IIT Kharagpur. So Professor Basu is having more than 3 decades of expertise in natural language processing and assistive technology. Professor Basu will also be developing a national portal for disability, collaborating with Department of Science and Technology under the TIDE program. Now I request Professor Basu to kindly make the presentation.
Thank you, Gopikrishnji. I have put the title of my talk as Indigenization of Assistive Technology and Indianization of Assistive Technology. Because when we talk of Atma Nirbhar Bharat, both these terms are very important. These must be indigenous, because we must have the things done through the components available locally, and also we must Indianize the product, keeping in view the actual requirement of the grassroots, the socio-economic requirements of the people at the grassroots, because we just cannot, it has been seen in the area of assistive technology, that is the technology that is used to empower the physically challenged people, that when we import the technology that are not very socially or akin to what we are actually using. For example, if I use an icon-based system and I show the picture of a hamburger for a breakfast, then obviously our children will not be able to make out, because the common children are not familiar with hamburger, that is a food or whatever it is. Therefore, whenever we say musical instrument, we have to show something like a flute or a sitar, right? We cannot straightway show a piano to a village boy and expect that he has seen piano. So these are a number of such aspects are there, including that of a language, which is very important. So we must emphasize both these. We must have it, make it in a globally competitive manner using locally available components, and we must make the components locally available and also Indianize it. Next slide, please. As I said, that assistive technology, even a couple of years back, if I had typed the word assistive technology in Microsoft Word, it would come with a red line showing that it's a spelling mistake. Because even Microsoft Word was not familiar with this term, but that situation has changed. But the situation has not changed in India. We go to schools and colleges, and I teach at IIT Kharagpur. In my class, when I asked that, do you know what is cerebral palsy? Most of the students do not know. Have you seen any spastic child? Maybe 5 to 10% of the students raise their hand. Others are not aware at IITs, coming from the upper echelon of the society. And when I come to the common people at large, no disrespect to them, the exposure issue is the point. They are not socially aware about this. Our parents are not socially aware that it is not a crime to have some problems in their children, which might be some disorders and not diseases. And we have to handle those disorders. So the parents hide the children from the public view. So lack of parental awareness is another problem. Lack of available facilities in proximity. I worked with the cerebral palsy community for a long time, and I found that there has been, government of social justice and youth empowerment have put up some centers in the village areas. But frankly speaking, no facilities that are required for the CP children are available there. There are blind schools. I'd say that the term blind is very common and everybody understands it. But even when I go to the villages or even in the outskirts, you don't have a blind school with proper technological support. Now for the visually impaired, because of the works done in different IITs, Kharagpur, Delhi, Bombay and other places, a lot of technology is available for the blind people, but people do not know about that. And the last thing, but by no means it's the least, there is affordability. We can make a technology, but we must also make the technology affordable for all the people. So given this status in India, let's move next slide. Yeah. So if we want to really develop an assistive technology, my focus today is not to tell the audience what are the assistive technology available in India, although I'll touch upon a couple of them, but I'd rather emphasize on the necessity of the ecosystem that must support the whole technology development, technology dissemination, awareness to the users and the service providers. Now, what are the things? If I say that I want to develop a particular technology, the requirements are, first, you can see specification acquisition. Now, this has been put in orange because specification acquisition in our design culture, we sit in a lab and we design and we think of what might be needed by the people. But that doesn't work. It must be a bottom-up approach. We must go to the bottom of the pyramid. And we have to look over there. We have to see what I could see in the presentation of Dr. Dotto, land to lab. That is very interesting and very important. The actual problems will have to be acquired from the land, from the users, what they need. Then we'll have to go to the lab, and this going back and forth will continue. Even after the product has been deployed. And that is something that is lacking in India. Number two is hardware development. Now, we always say we are software giants and all those things. Mr. F.C. Kohli of TCS, one of the fathers of IT in India, I'd say, was very right in emphasizing the necessity of hardware development in India. That has really shifted. We have been accustomed to import from China, from Taiwan, the hardware. But okay, fine, the components are being imported now. But making the proper hardware requires the hardware skills and knowledge. But I find in computer science curriculum, in most of the places, hardware education is taking a back seat more and more. Of course, the green line is software development. And all of us know that we can develop software, we do that. but we are really hesitant to take the hard path of developing the hardware. So that expertise, of course, software development we have, and the students are very capable of developing that. Now I'm coming to the two white lines. One is production and maintenance. Now this is something very much lacking. We have got at least 5 to 6 labs in India, research labs, what you call knowledge centers, where we develop the tools and which adhere to the specification acquisition guideline, but we come up to the beta level of the product. But taking it up to bring it to production, make a small MSME or small scale industry for this, no one takes the responsibility. And I'm sorry, I am getting the opportunity of an audience where a number of important government people are there. Sir, madam, let me put it, you just want to escape. You just escape. Let me tell you my personal experience. Tools have been developed by Department of Science and Technology, and in one case by Department of IT, MAIT now. Once we go for the production part and want support, that okay, the project has been completed successfully, help us in making a product out of it and let us deploy it. I've been directed, okay, that is not in our jurisdiction. DST has got some, it's not true for DST though, but for DIT I found that they just guided me. You approach the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. We write a fresh proposal there, try to convince them again. So there is no continuity, it's broken. It's broken. And so you just, now again, you see for an academician, what is the problem? You have done this, but for this production part, I'll not produce another PhD out of it, right? So there will be a disinterest among the students. So who can do it? Some entrepreneurs. And who will build that bridge? The ministry should help us in building that bridge, that ecosystem. Without that, we'll be Atma only. I'll do it only within myself, Atma. But India will never be Atma Nirbhar unless we build that bridge. The same thing is for deployment and support. When I have made something, I have given it to the user groups. Obviously, it's a system, there will be faults, there will be additional requirements, refinements are required, and so there should be a continuous support system. But an academic institution or a research lab alone cannot do that. So, next slide, please. Yeah. So, I'll show you a couple of indigenous things that has been developed in India. I have skipped one, that is Sangjo System is one. Let me just tell you verbally that is a system that has been developed by us long back, where any Indian language text can be converted into Braille automatically and can be printed out through Braille embossers, any internationally available Braille embossers that can also translate mathematical symbols into that. Now, with the help of IIT Delhi's development, we can also have tactile graphics on that, and we can have a complete educational material made available to the blind people. Similarly, IIT Delhi has developed the Smart Cane, and a number of gadgets are available. Now, at NIT Durgapur, we have appealed to the government to support us, and I'm happy that it has been just now mentioned that we'll develop a portal where all these information will be available, and there will be many other features that the parents, the caregivers can also get support from there. That is another topic. Now, the second system that is being shown on the display here is the Sangjo System. A Sangjo System is a communication tool for the cerebral palsy and the speech impaired people. Now, they can, using this system, You can select a number, you can see the pictures there. They can select the pictures, and using those pictures, they can form a syntactically and semantically correct sentence, which can be spoken out using text-to-speech system in Indian language. That is very much useful for the children, and you can see that not only on the desktop, such systems are available on telephones, tabs, and a special hardware Kavi developed by IIT Madras. All these, so IIT Kharagpur and IIT Madras work jointly that this thing could be translated into Kavi. Next slide, please. Next slide. Here you see Akash Bani is a tool that has been developed quite some time back for the speech impaired people who can just carry it, and just by touching on the specific icons, they can speak out. Now, this is being used by the children even to answer multiple choice questions for the disabled children who cannot speak or are orthopedically or neuromotor disorder. You can say that if they're neuromotor disorder, how can they touch these things? Yes, that's a correct question. For that, we have developed indigenous switches, as you can see, these red switches, which are called burger switches. So they need not, since they do not have the motor.
Sir, can you please conclude in a few minutes?
Yes, of course. I thought I had 15 to 15 minutes. That was told. Okay. So we can plug on this. Please, next slide, please. Next slide, please, quickly. So here are some examples, some pictures of the access switches. Anybody who is interested can get in touch with me. I can discuss it later. Next slide, please. Next slide, please, quickly. Yeah. So here is another system that might be of interest to some of you, where it is a web browser that can be accessed by the neuromotor disordered people who cannot use the mouse. And this web browser is a completely new design with a human-computer interface. Using the special switches, they can access these also. Next slide, please. Yeah. So nowadays we are talking of robotics and AI and all those things. So for sign language interpretation, for example, we can, and we are working on this, that we can very well employ, robots will be expensive maybe, but even avatars, which are humanoid avatars, for sign language, so that often we do not get sign language interpreters in all the programs, but just by converting the texts or the spoken speech into sign language by avatars, we can reach to the hearing impaired people. Next slide, please. Yeah, here is an example of a thing that is development of an exoskeleton using which a robot can feed a disabled person who is neuromotor disorder. Next slide, please. Yeah, so whenever we talk of Indianization, there are a couple of things we must keep in mind. One is text-to-speech. We must have Indian language text-to-speech. There has been some efforts on this, but still we are yet to get a product for Bangla, Hindis, Malayalam, Tamil, which are absolutely intonation and prosody inclusive text-to-speech systems. And mind you, once again, I iterate that it cannot be the task of IIT Madras or IIT Delhi or IIT Kharagpur to provide you the result. That has to come through a company, and that ecosystem is required. Speech to text, Indian picture library, Indian sign language. Now, the last bullet, Indian sign language. Unfortunately, we are yet to conquer on a common Indian sign language. The North speaks its own sign language, the East speaks another, the South speaks another. So we have to, there has been some mission.
This conference will now be recorded.
We have to go for production and support and maintenance. And I feel that assistive technology should form a part of the academic curriculum in good institutes, that must form an academic curriculum, so that we can develop more and more manpower who are sensitized to this aspect. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So I'll just conclude with this possible model and ecosystem, where some R&D centers that you can see in this rectangle in the middle, and will work with the government, will be supported by the government, and will be working with the institutes and universities, and will fan out to the industries. And the industries will feed the NGOs. And the government will also, of course, support the NGOs. And from the NGOs, it will come to the users. And from these users, the feedback should continuously come to this R&D centers and institutes. So unless we have got this whole ecosystem, I think, will be lagging behind, and Atma Nirbhar Bharat will just be a word. Next slide, please. I think that's the end. Next slide. Next slide. There's no next slide. So thank you very much. I end here.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. We are indeed thankful for you for emphasizing on indigenization as well as Indianization of AT for creating an Atma Nirbhar Bharat. So your detail on issues at systemic level, the need for proactive R&D is very well taken. And also your presentation on ecosystem requirements will help us in coming up with affordable and adaptable solutions. I also thank you for elaborating on various prototypes and giving the details of the requirements at the ecosystem level of AT. Thank you very much, sir. Now I request Mr. Rubab to kindly coordinate the panel discussions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gopikishan. I think we've had a very interesting first half of today's discussion, the 7th week, first day of the 7th week. Presentations from Dr. Shashi Bala Singh, Dr. Naval Kapoor, and now by Professor Anupam Basu. I think they have really emphasized the role, how, for us overall socio-economic development, and especially when we talk about social infrastructure sector, the role which the differently abled section and the vulnerable section of the society can play, and how we can empower them further. Yeah, I'm sorry, I think I got muted here. So moving on, I think we're slightly behind schedule. So I would initiate the panel discussion by inviting Dr. S. Chitra from Perumal Manimakalai College of Engineering, Hosur, Tamil Nadu. She would be, Dr. Chitra would be speaking about emerging technologies for women. Looking forward to this interesting this presentation. May I please request Dr. Chitra to take over from here.
Good evening to one and all gathered here. First of all, I thank the Department of Science and Technology for giving us the opportunity to organize and to set up a women technology park in our campus. I thank Dr. Indupuri Madam and Gopi Krishna sir and Dr. Uma Malik and other panelists. Next slide. So, our college was established in the year, first was established 1996 and the college 2002. So with the NAC P++ accreditation in the year 2017. Next slide. Our college is located in between of the Hosur and Krishnagiri. Nearly 3,000 industries are there, granite industries are there. So we visited for the 60 granite industries. We observed many waste materials are there, granite waste are there. So we plan and we implement for the brick making using the granite waste. So we completed, we set up the brick machine, and huge amount of the brick we have to be make it in the marketplace. And then second is using the 3D printer. We prepared the chocolates using the 3D printing machine. And next is the e-waste processing. That also be done in our campus. So because we want to save the environment, so most of the e-waste materials be there. So we want to avoid that situation, and we want to get a good environment of the agriculture. We set up the e-waste processing also in our campus with the women technology part. Okay. So technology and products, necklace to pillow and brick from granite waste, and weeding unit for agricultural application, e-waste segregation and pre-processing model, customized gift making through 3D chocolate printing. So this chocolate printing, we use the CAD enabled 3D printing, and necklace to pillow. So for the memory foam, we have to use it, and we make a necklace to pillow. Next slide. The technology invention, necklace pillow with foam or fiber, developed and marketed. Brick making from granite waste for the construction sector, we developed mechanical weeding unit for the agricultural purpose, customized printed chocolate for the food product. So we trained 232 women on technology intervention and graduated 4 women entrepreneurs based on the necklace pillow, graduated 3 women entrepreneurs with brick making. And we set up the infrastructure also in our campus. So we use more NGO people to visit our campus, and we organize more skill development program. In that, we have to train many women in our campus. Next slide. So collaborated with the WTP, self-welfare group, so and then training institute, suppliers, rural development department, hospital, government body, women entrepreneur, NGOs, and hospitals. For everyone, they given a good hand and good support to our WTP, and we give more number of training for that women, and we developed and we trained more women in our campus with our women technology part. Next slide. So types of organization is network for sales, NGOs, FM radio partners, industry associations, milk product manufacturer. So we signed the MOU with these persons also, and 3DP for milk product manufacturer collaborated on the study of new product possibility with 3DP technology. So with them also we signed MOU and we implemented in all the aspects. Next slide. View of the women technology part, what we did in our campus. Next slide. Collaborated with WTP. Here, we trained 30 candidates. 30 candidates we trained for the necklace to pillow. In that, qualitative women are elevated to the level of trainer and entrepreneur. So in that quantitative, 4 trainers and 4 graduated entrepreneurs have been developed with the swing training program, and training on operating CNC hot wire cutter. So we trained 50 candidates, 212 pillows developed with a good quality. So far we sell 440 pillow per day. So in that, 4 entrepreneurs graduated, 3 entrepreneurs in pipeline, 12 new design introduced in pillows. Training on chocolate 3D printing, 47, we trained 47 candidates. Next slide. So training on efficient operating technique on weeding machine, we trained 25 candidates in our campus. 2 machines were fabricated. Number of days that machines were rendered, 24. Number of entrepreneurs in pipeline is 1. Training on making granite brick, 30 number of candidates we trained. 3 entrepreneurs graduated, 2 entrepreneurs in pipeline. 12 participants are engaged in making brick. 3 new opportunities found. Training on operating operation shredder machine, 50 number of the candidates are trained. Next. Next slide. So this is the bird's view what we did in our campus. This number of the women have to come for our women technology park and be given a training, and now most of them are the entrepreneurs. Next slide. So this is also a glimpse of our training in our campus. Next slide. Current status. So establish the women technology park, formation of micro entrepreneur. So technology enabled solution to location specific problem and linkage with the S&T institution, and novel model of training and capacity building in our WTP. Identify 300 plus women or provided awareness. Next. So conducted training program, 6 skill development program we organized through our WTP, and business models were developed, executed 2 business models for 2 product. So that is the necklace pillow and brick, extended through our Krishnagiri district, and community covered rural women with primary and secondary in the Sulaguri schooling education. Unskilled women also be given a training to our WTP. Next. So unique value proportion. So with the focus for the agricultural related benefit. So this is the weeding machine we given a training to the rural women. Next slide. So and then environmental benefit. So in that map what I shown, so most of the place be the lake. So nearly 3,000 this area covers of the lake. Nearly 3,000 industries are there. So they occupied this much of the granite waste. These are the granite waste. So we want to protect the environment, and then we plan for the brick making in our campus to the WTP. Next slide. So e-waste processing also, we collected all the materials and collect material, prepare the machine, and then this is the shedding the waste. This is the machine. So we put all the waste material, and this is the bag be there. So we collect all the crushed material in that bag. So this is also unique value proportion what we did in our WTP. Next slide. So necklace to pillow and variants. So far 440 pillows we sold out, average 1 per day, and 12 designers were introduced. And brick from granite waste, 12 participants are engaged in making brick. New product power block. These also be done in the brick making machine, and customized chocolate. 120 design chocolates were made. Market study in progress. So we set the certification FSSAI is under the process, and we e-waste recycling. We signed MOU with the People's Society of Hosur, so they can be good. Setup has to be done in the Hosur. These NGOs, they make a good setup in Hosur. Next slide. So this is also unique for the necklace to pillow and variants. So apart from the necklace to pillow, so for the allied products are sticker making, button function, design of outer cover, bag to hold the pillow, and embroidery work. So these also be apart from the necklace pillow, we have to do all this in the women technology part. Next slide. So in brick making machine, so powder cake also be prepared using the brick making machine, and cocoa peak block also be did in that particular machine. So this is the unique value proportion what we have to be in our campus. Next slide. So then chocolate 3D printer. So apart from the chocolate 3D printing, so the allied product or wrapper making, raw materials, packing, gift boxes, shipping boxes, and millet chocolates also be did in the 3D printer. This is the machine. So we had 2 machines. So it's one machine. What we did, apart from that 3D chocolate, these also be done in our campus in the women technology park. Next slide. So economic viability. So necklace pillow for travel and medical, brick from granite waste for the construction, mechanical weeding unit for agricultural, e-waste segregation for recycle, customized gift and 3D chocolate printing for food processing. So this is the way we completed all the products, and we are in a well-versed to our district. Our Women Technology Park is the well-known to everyone through our district. Next slide. And techno-economy
Chimney, may I
viability.
please request you to please wrap up in next minute or so?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Techno-economic viability. So this is the cost for the synthetic fiber, EPS form, and memory form. So this is the cost we have to calculate. Next. So this is for the necklace pillow. Next. Next. So this is the economic viability of the brick and granite waste. Next slide. So tangible difference made in the community due to social infrastructure. So skill development. Women from the rural and semi-urban locations of the project area developed vocational skill and life skill due to the training program conducted. All the technology intervention also be done in our WTP. Next. So for example, so this Manimegalai, he made the train, she got the training in our WTP, and now she be an entrepreneur. So per monthly income also be increased through she has to get the training in the WTP. Next. Next. So these are some samples. So what we did for all this, Vidya also one of our trainer in the WTP. Next. Next slide. So these all women's be an entrepreneur. So in that different location, they all are be the entrepreneur. Next. So, and the state government of Tamil Nadu, Collectorate of Krishnagiри has appreciated the initiative and connecting WTP initiative among NGOs and self-help group of district, and the People Society of Hosur has initiated to collaborate with WTP and create an extra facility to provide and accommodate maximum women in the skill development and livelihood initiative. So this is the first view what we did in our campus. Next. So tangible difference made national skill qualification framework. So recommended to new skill development program with the training curriculum and ready to share training material. So one is the training on operating CNC hot wire cutter, and the next one training on chocolate 3D printing machine. Next. Next slide. So far reached 8,500 plus people through 15 plus self-help group, 5,000 plus families, students, parents, faculty of the institution, 5 technical and non-technical exhibition participation every year, minimum of 1 program per week in safety campus. Next. Next slide. Next slide. These are the samples. These books of the women. Next. So future plan for sustainability, linkage with EDCs and TBIs, the rental model, office space 10,000 square feet we did for the Human Technology Park in our campus, and business model support, charges for usage equipment, training in chargeable basics, innovation and research exemption, and skilled women will become the master trainers for future programs. So far, success rate, 85% of the success rate we achieved. Next thing. Challenges face training rural women on technology from different educational level was challenges. Initially, language was a challenge because in Hosur, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada speakers, more number of women and the rural women on that. So that was the more challenge to our WTP. And while training on e-waste recycling, we observed that it's a bit toxic. And so we are trying to get solutions through our mentors. And converting trained women to an entrepreneur is challenging. Next slide. So in the COVID situation also we faced many problems. So that's why we enabled us to think and alternative ways for executing of all the activities of WTP, to explore and choose online mode of training, to identify trainer and educate them to use online mode of teaching, to train the participants on the usage of online platform, to communicate participants through social media, to convert training material into presentation and videos, to register participants through the online mode, to use collaborative mode of training, and to collect feedback on the daily basis with direct interaction for future improvement. Next slide.
Kindly finish your presentation, ma'am.
Yes,
please. Thank you.
Willingness to with the cross-bridge collaboration, we have collaborated with the following bodies: Self-Welfare Group, Research Initiative, Training Institute, suppliers, Rural Development Department, Government Body, Women Entrepreneur Hospital. So far, I am eager to transfer technology and ready to collaborate with other institutions also. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chitra. It was really very encouraging and very very positive to hear what initiatives you've taken. You know, some remarkable interventions in empowering the women, and the way you've made it inclusive, involving women from the district Hosur and in the entire process. I think that's a testimony of great work, very inclusive work which you are doing, and we must congratulate you all. We must congratulate you all at the college for some phenomenal path-breaking work you've done. I'm sure the local community must be equally supportive to your initiative and to various interventions you're undertaking in your area. Thank you so much for your detailed presentation. Moving on, I would now request Professor Gurumurthy from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, to make his presentation on science, technology, and innovation hubs, emerging technologies for development of SC and ST communities, the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe community. Looking forward to your presentation, Professor Gurumurthy. May I request Vigyan Prasad to please. Yes, we have the presentation on the screen. Professor Gurumurthy, over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I thank both the chairman of the panel and the organizers for accommodating my request, and my apologies to the other speakers for asking for the shift. Today's presentation is actually about the work that is going to happen. This is a project that has recently been sanctioned by the DST to develop innovation based on science and technology capabilities in the weaker sections of our society. Next slide, please. So SID is the organization within IISc that is going to do this. Just a quick word about SID, that it is the industry and translation phase of the institute. So we work with the large industries doing research. We work with the startups to incubate them. We also work with small and medium enterprises and helping them to upgrade on technology. And this particular activity comes under a new stream that we have started called targeted research in priority areas. And we believe that science-based technology development for strategic areas of importance to the country is something that we would like to achieve here. Next slide, please. So we have chosen our alternate campus in Chalakere as the base for this, primarily because of the target population that we were asked to address. And I have some statistics here about the area that I'm going to skip in the interest of time, except to say that there is a significant percentage of the target population in this particular district. And so we feel that it will be a good place to focus our work on. Next, please. So the idea is to work at 3 levels. We call it the seed, flower, and the fruit. And in the seed, what we want to do is to look at problems and needs in these areas and develop relevant technologies. It may need some new science to be developed. It may have existing science that is packaged into a technology and a product. And so both will be addressed in this phase. Right now, our focus is on agricultural waste, and we are looking at both minimizing waste and also exploiting the waste. That's the immediate focus, but other things can be added to these, like water and mobility and energy relevant to those areas. The second phase is flower, where we want to sort of take the technology and to develop into an aspirational product, but we want to do this in collaboration with would-be entrepreneurs from the target community in these areas. And we do that by helping them work on the development of the business case, understanding the business potential, and also offer other supports in the entire product lifecycle, from design and packaging to all the way to IP regulation and statutory requirements that has to be met. And the last one is, of course, fruit, where we want to work with enterprises that we create, as well as those that are already there, to help them move up the value chain using a cohort-based training approach, where they are going to be trained in all aspects of running a business that can generate wealth. So that's the 3 things that we hope to do in this project. Next slide, please. So as I said, just some thoughts on what we are thinking of in the seed phase in waste minimization. We found that while there are, cold storage units, which is an obvious solution already available, there is a reluctance to use them for all products, all agri products in all areas of the country, especially in the region that we are focusing on. And so we want to understand the reasons for this lack of interest and see if we can intervene through design by coming up with novel cooling solutions that will work for the community that we are targeting. And at the same time, we also want to look at the other end, which is drying, which can also be a good way to eliminate waste, in that you convert the perishable product into something that will have a longer shelf life and possibly markets that they were not hitherto tapping. Banana is a classic example, where increasingly now people are finding good markets for dried banana, and that's something that we would like to look at. And on the other side of waste to wealth, again, we want to focus on banana, primarily because this is a fairly popular product in the regions that we are targeting, where we would like to see what is either to wasted, the stock of the fruit-bearing plant, into fiber. Right? India is the largest grower of bananas, but we are the lowest in terms of creation of banana-based fiber. Right now, there is interest in the fabric industry, but we believe that this can have other industrial applications, as in structural boards made out of this, which could be used as either noise, fire, or even other retardant structural materials. We also want to focus on related areas such as areca nut. We have found some very distinct problems in the popularity of this material for generating, cutlery and plates. Primarily, one being the permeability of this over a period of time. And we see that technology can solve this problem. So this is something else that we would like to address with some entrepreneur there locally. Next, please. We also want to address other areas. IISc already has a long history of working on making structural materials like bricks from local material, more efficient stoves, which are demanded. But these are 2 new products that we want to get into. One is, agricultural productivity enablers for the single farmer, where things like fruit plucker or harvesters for cotton, etc., are being designed, and we already have these technologies. So we would like to see if these can be taken out. And the last one, of course, here is controlled environment farming, where we are designing instrumented polyhouses, and we are trying to now bring them at a cost regime that will be affordable, which can be then serviced by local youth, so that both will benefit, people without land and people with land. Next, please. So in the flower stage, as I said, our idea is to take those products and technologies that we have and develop them into what we call aspirational products that can be taken into the marketplace. I just have three samples here of the kind of spectrum we have. This is in the first one in the top corner. Cashew juice extractor is a device that was designed for one particular fruit, but now can be used for any fruit. And this is again working quite well and can be used by people. The second is a device used for declogging and cleaning, sewage lines. And this is something that enables people to be outside. So the whole device can be controlled and manipulated from the outside, and yet have about 3 times the productivity of other technologies that are there to clean, live alone the onerous one of people entering into this. So this will completely prevent that, and at the same time, provide greater productivity. And this is a good service offering that entrepreneurs can take this up and provide services to local corporations and civic bodies. And so we see a good opportunity there. And the third one, which is sort of in the center, unfortunately, this picture is the same technology that was referred to in the previous slide of controlled environments for farming. Again, there is a platform technology available here, and we can offload it to entrepreneurs who want to, again, as I said, offer this as a service for maintaining and running such polyhouses for other people who have the land. Next, please. The last is the fruit. Of course, here we want to work and local companies, where we can take them to the next level of their economic growth by offering them technology-based products that will improve their offerings, and also offer them new opportunities. Again, top left corner, a very simple device that can be used for stripping wire. Right now it is done in a very hazardous form by people, but here, this is something that can be economically operated and safely, obtain copper and other metals that can bring value to the people who are doing this, and this can be an additional source of income. And at the bottom, you see a multi-utility device that can be, offered to small landholding farmers, which will allow them to do multiple tasks like tilling, seeding, and de-weeding with one device. And again, here, this can be a service opportunity for the unemployed youth in that area. Next, please. I think we'll skip this. This is just to market ourselves. So I think we will skip this. Next one. Yeah, so this is another area where we want to focus on, which is talent development. And this is at multiple levels here. I want to focus on the extreme right one, which is, the construction material with locally available material. And here, this is already started, but we want to grow on this, where we bring in people from the neighboring areas and train them in this, so that they can then offer services as civil contractors to build for other people. So that's the model that we want to use in everything that we do there, that the technology is given to people who will then take it to the masses through either companies or service offerings. The first two are about teaching science to teachers in the local areas. Next, please. The plan is to be self-sustainable, and we do believe that over time we will become self-sustaining. I will leave the details for now. Next, please. Yeah. So the main thoughts here were that we wanted to be able to benefit people where the ownership of land is not a requirement. So they have wealth generation opportunities without having to own land. The second, of course, is to use local talent, and therefore we want to invest significantly in training, both at the business level and at the technology level, so that, the local talent can then take all of this. And lastly, the problem identification has to be done by the stakeholder, and solution will also come by the stakeholder, from the stakeholder, but with our help. That's the spirit in which we are, entering this particular project. And the last slide, of course, is something that everybody knows, but we hope that we can truly achieve this in this particular project, that we can teach enough people in these areas to fish, so that they don't need anybody else's help to grow up in life in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Gurumurthy, for your very crisp and very to-the-point presentation. I think the initiatives at your institute, the Indian Institute of Science at Bangalore, I think we all know pretty well across the nation, and you, in fact, outside the country as well, the great work you guys have done. And we really compliment you and congratulate you for wonderful achievements and really empowering, the society in many different ways. Thank you so much, Professor Gurumurthy.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah.
Moving on now, we have the last presentation of the panel discussion from Punjab State Council for Science and Technology. We have Shri Pritpal Singh, Additional Director, who would be talking on behalf of Dr. Jatinder Kaur Arora, who's the Director. On the topic of the presentation is brick kiln technology. I hope Dr. Pritpal Singh ji, we're audible. Can we have a quick?
Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Over to you,
Okay,
Mr. Singh.
thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Punjab State Council for Science and Technology has a division which I am heading right now, is the Technology Facilitation Division. And over the last 35 years, we have been developing low-cost, energy-efficient technologies and actually replicating in the field. And today I am going to discuss about the brick kiln technology, which is the subject of today. Next, please. Next slide. Yes. So just to give you a background of the brick sector in India, it's as we all know that brick making is a very unorganized sector in the country, and we have more than 140,000 enterprises who are involved in brick making. Out of this, there are a number of technology which is being used across the country, starting with very old and traditional method of clamp kilns. You just stack brick kilns, integrate with the fuel, and fire at one place, and fire moves, and then blow, and the bricks are baked. And next type of kilns are the fixed chimney brick kilns, which are most prevalent along the North Indo-Gangetic belt of country, and which are around 40,000. Previous slide, please. Previous slide, please. Can you take, yes. So those are about around 40,000 brick kilns, fixed chimney kilns, and these are basically producing about total country's production, which is around 240 to 260 billion bricks, which are produced annually in the country, and 65% of brick production is from those fixed chimney kilns. And in the process, we consume about 35 to 40 million tons of coal equivalent fuel, which includes coal as well as biomass. Biomass is mainly used in Rajasthan, Haryana, parts of Punjab, UP also, and Madhya Pradesh. Mostly it is used in this because biomass is abundantly available. And while making these bricks, we emit about 80 million tons of CO2 emissions and consume around 500 million meter cube of soil. But it besides it provides employment to 12 to 15 million employment provided to persons in the country, so which is very high. But the main issue remains with the existing fixed chimney kiln technology, which you can see in the photograph also, which is prevalent in, as I said, in the Indo-Gangetic belt and parts of South India also, is the high stack emission, which is around 500 to 1200 milligram per normal meter cube. Because of this, major reason for this is the poor practices which are being followed. Unskilled labor is involved in that, and at the same time, the quality of brick production, first quality brick production, is hardly 70 to 80%, which is very low considered. But recently, stringent policies are coming up. Government has been issuing directions to all these kilns to switch over to cleaner technologies. Next slide, please. So Punjab State Council was involved in carrying out a study on the behalf of Ministry of Environment and Forest way back in 2014 and 15. We studied around 50 brick kilns all over the country, prepared inventory of brick kilns also, and came out with a strategy on upcoming national emission standard. And looking into the need for technology, we came up with this induced draft brick kiln technology, which is a unique of its kind, which I'll explain in the subsequent slide. And this technology was developed with the support of DST Government of India in 2017. Next slide. So, uniqueness of this technology was because it is the first of kind technology. Pardon?
MDT.
Okay. So the main issues involved in the technology which were addressed in that, because if we have in this fixed chimney kiln, the draft which is required for making the air flow within the system itself was through the draft capacity of a chimney which is installed in the center of a kiln. But at the same time, because of during the high temperature we have in India during the summer months, the draft from the chimney reduces and it affects the production and the emissions from the brick kiln. At the same time, we all are aware that brick kilns are located in the remote areas of the country, and availability of power is again an issue. So these are the two issues involved in the technology. So we have developed a technology which has a feature that we can address both these systems by having a smooth kind of a switchover mechanism. As any time we can switch over to natural draft when during the winter months, and during the summer months we can switch over to the fan-based technology to create a required draft. So it reduces our electricity cost also, at the same time reduces our maintenance cost as well. So and the kiln workers were trained for the operation of this system. So we got this optimized air to fuel ratio for combustion of fuel, which is being used in the kiln for firing of bricks, and it resulted in reduced emissions, and so is the Ghg emissions. Yeah, next slide, please. So if we compare the technology, upper one, if you see the diagram, it's a wool stench kiln, fixed chimney kiln, which is the traditional method. And the lower one is the technology which we have developed. In the system, we have brick setting in such a way that air movement is in a zigzag pattern. So it gives you a benefit of, as we say in a good combustion, we should have a 3 T's, which is the time, temperature, and turbulence. So we get a sufficient time to interact transfer of heat from air to product. So because of this zigzag pattern, and it creates a terminal, gives us an advantage of better heat transfer also. Brick setting is in a denser way as in comparison to straight line brick setting, and we have a longer combustion zone. It gives us opportunity. Because of that, we get a better combustion efficiency and reduce emission. But and one point is sure that we need some kind of a skilled manpower to operate and supervise this, which we have achieved by using this instrument, very low cost instrument. Next slide. So this first demonstration unit was set up in Ludhiana with us, as I said, with the support of DST Government of India in 2017. And because of its uniqueness, a patent has already been filed. And in the process, we trained the manpower existing, which were earlier operating this fixed chimney kilns. The same manpower was trained for operation of kilns, standardized the practices. And the benefit which we got was around 80% reduction in emissions, which were earlier in the fixed chimney. We could reduce it well below 200 milligram. As I said earlier in the slide, it was projected 500 to 1500 milligram. So we could bring down to 200. Again, we achieved a fuel reduction of 10 to 15%. Yes, kiln owners were benefited by the improvement in brick quality. By 15 to 20%, we could get as high as 92% of first quality brick against 70 to 80% in the earlier cases. And another beauty of this system is we require less area for setting up of this kind of kiln in comparison to fixed chimney kiln. So after this demonstration of technology, which was validated by through extensive monitoring by the State Pollution Control Board, they approved of this technology, which resulted in its replication in more than 900 brick kilns. Not only in Punjab, we could demonstrate in other states of like Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, and Uttarakhand also. So these are the benefits. On the right side, if you see, these are small instruments for just to facilitate better monitoring of the operation of the system. Next slide. Looking into the techno-economic viability of this technology, if we set up a complete system at one place, because we have taken most of the kilns in this area were already constructed, we were just to retrofit this technology, and the cost was around 40 lakhs. And if we are to make a totally new kiln, it is around 45 to 50 lakhs. And the saving which we get out of this system is, after deducting this operating cost, additional operating cost, I would say, we get around the payback of 15 lakhs per annum. So the payback of technology is less than 3 years. And the major environmental benefit is we could reduce 2,000 tons of CO2 per kiln per annum, so which is very high. And at the same time, emission reduction we could achieve is around 27 tons per annum. Next slide, please. We take pride in sharing you that, as I already said, that Punjab State Council for Science and Technology is involved in promoting cleaner technology to enhance state climate resilience capacity. And during the last 3 years, we could develop and demonstrate 3 technologies in brick kiln. Another was in the induction furnace. It is a suction collection of dust system. Then was air pollution control in re-rolling sector. So this technology was adopted by around 1,300 MSMEs in the span of 3 years, and which involved a private sector investment of 300 crores. And at the same time, we could this could result in reduction of Ghg emissions by 5.88 lakh tons. And particulate emission reduction was around 52,000 tons. And this has benefited the workers working in the sector. Around 25,000 workers were benefited. Looking into this, UNDP jointly with government of Punjab had instituted this this award launch this year, and we were one of the recipient of the award for environmental sustainability 2020. Next slide. Regarding this replication of success story to the other states, I'm happy to share that we are looking into the COVID scenario. We piloted online training of workers because this is one of the prerequisites for dissemination of technology. And DST has been kind enough to give us a project. So we are taking up this online capacity building program in collaboration with other S&T council, so which we will be initiating in a month's time. We are developing this manual, and if there is any agency or organization who is willing to take help from us, we are ready to provide the support by training of trainers who can further disseminate this technology in other states also. And as I said, there is immense scope for Ghg reduction, particulate matter reduction through proactive participation of S&T Council. 40,000 out of 40,000 brick kilns, hardly this technology has been taken up by hardly 4,000 brick kilns only. So again, there is a wide gap in the area where we can support this system. And there is definitely entrepreneurship opportunities for the students of the college, ITI diploma students, for designing, construction and operation of this kind of kiln technology. We have developed a manual that is in local regional language as of now, for better construction practice, how to construct a good kiln, and we are working on a manual for operation of this kilns also. So this is all about the technology. Thank you very much for giving us opportunity to present our success story. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Singh, for a very detailed presentation. I think, as a few of your last slides mentioned, that's been replicated very well, this particular technology. So it's been scaled, and it's benefiting the community in many ways than one. So again, I think it was a very crisp presentation, very well presented. Thank you so much for your effort, Mr. Prithpal Singh. Thank you so much, and please congratulate your director also from our side. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Moving on, I think now we would take some questions. We don't have many questions today. I think the presentations were pretty much self-explanatory and very well appreciated and taken by the participants. We had almost over 80 participants today. On that note, before I call upon we call upon experts for their comments. Dr. Datta, would you like to come in, please?
I think I can just conclude at the end. You can go ahead with the whatever if there is some questions or any other experts comment with that.
Yes, that's what I thought. Okay, sir. Noted. So
actually, there are no questions. There is just a suggestion from Dr. Sudha Nair to Dr. Chitra that she can diversify her activities by working with other agencies. And then this Card Bhuvaneshwar has requested Dr. Naval Kapoor, JS Mota, to give his address. So I think Dr. Kapoor has already told that whatever information one named, it is all there on the ministry's website. So I think you can take from there.
Yes, and his email ID is also available. So if someone wants to perhaps
all the details are there on the Ministry of Tribal Affairs website. So you can write to them. These are the only questions for today.
Okay.
And I request experts for their comments. Professor Anil Joshi.
Yeah, I think the experts are forward. Technological, the guiding group. I think I see, Dr. Anil Joshi here. Dr. Joshi, you have heard about, this is the other type of the social. Yeah, the other social infrastructure we have discussed. So your comments, Dr. Joshi, please. Yeah.
Yes, I have gone through I was hearing very well. It is. I was thinking that since we have an experience working with the rural community, you are all aware about it. But flatly, we cannot take technology as such within the community, because why I'm saying so, in technology also, when we take in the rural community, to the rural community, there is an issue of 1G, 2G, 3G. Why I'm saying first generation of technology, I have an experience with. When we were working with the water mill, we had a very good technology available, which was developed by IIT, Roorkee, IIT Delhi, and even ITDG guys. When we took this technology to the community, which was very essential, we wanted that water mill efficiency should go up, because diesel and electrical engine were replacing water mill. We thought that this good technology, which I think was a 3G technology in water power for application, with pico kind of a thing. But we suddenly found that the people did not accept it, and for a single breakdown, it was 3 months it took to repair this turbine. Not only that, but added to it was that the skill of the community was not matching with this technology. So we as a social worker working with the community decided that there has to be a survey, and the survey for skill matching, affordability, and the services. If any technology of any G we take, next level we go to for technology. For example, when we begin with first time the food processing, today we have gone to the next level with the better technology input we have been able to give. But when we go to the first time, there are this country 650,000 villages. Even then, some of the things have not even 1G, one generation technology have not gone to them. So I think many technology when we see are very good, but at the same time, some of the technology which are which require services, which require the affordability sector is also there, because not only the farmers, for example, we should talk, there are landless farmers also, as mentioned by one of the speaker when he was talking about how we should reach for some of the services of technology for the community. But I'm trying to say that, do we have any database also within different groups that we have, that what is the technology important? For example, if we want to take it, who these technology are going to, have they ever been exposed to this technology, or maybe there are many choices of next level technologies available. But to begin with, when we have 650,000 villages, I'm repeatedly saying, for example, I am from a state where are many remote areas we even do not have the roads gone into. So this thing is to be kept in my mind, in the mind, when we want whole India to become Atma Nirbhar. So what is the current skill of the community, and also the services, which is very important, because ultimately it is a resource-based economy can only empower the Atma Nirbharta, because and what the people have been producing have to be used through the technology, various technology. So that will be that I thought that I should share with all of you. It's a very important, and we face sometime that the technology is good, the affordability factors come, the services factor come, and also the matching, the skill matching. We do not find immediately when they take technology, the adaptability of the same. But next level, before we go, we'll have to see that simple, affordable, and serviceable technology should be introduced. This is what I wanted to say.
Yeah, just in response to that, Dr. Joshi, and in order to take forward the the learning over the years, I agree with you that the generations, the different generations technologies are there. But I think that is the reason what we are discussing here, also the cross-bridge collaborations, that the generations one technologies now, as you say, is the delivery, because technology development, technology, the disseminations and the in the disseminations, I believe the DST's role is limited, because if you see by the mandate, it is the mandate of the implementation ministries, and that's the reason in these cross-bridge collaborations we are talking to these implementation ministries like Ministry of Tribal Affairs, Ministry of Rural Development, Ministry of Social Justice, and with them this the generations one technology should go, and from the Atma Nirbharta, we should the role of DST, as you see in the overall ecosystem, the mandate and the is to look into the next generations of the technology and to keep that pipeline the prepared. It may happen that many of the villages that even generation was technology has not done, but I think that we should talk to the and bring it to the the knowledge of the or interface with the implementation ministry. And for all of this purpose, definitely a database is important, and as one of the important recommendations which is emanating out of this where clinic there is needed national the technology clearance, that type of a portal, and which with Vigyan Prasad, the PSA office and the other science ministries we should develop, and that should be one of the follow-up actions of that. And so that's the result. Like purposefully, we have brought in generations 2 and generations 3 technology for the exposure to the our NGO groups, because the DST should bring the next generation's technology in front, and only that the supply chain will be enriched. And so that is the reason, and definitely that generations 1 technology should also be brought to the notice of the implementation ministries. In other expert groups, whether Vipin Kumar is here, I saw him here, but I don't see him now, and also Dr. Sudha Nair is not here also. So I think in view of that, I think since already I think the 7th week fatigue seems to be the creeping in, and before that it really strengthens. I just in today's the interactions and the opportunity, what I hear that basically I really thank Dr. Shashibala Singh, because as a chairpersons of our S&T for Women program, Madam has brought really a pathway about that again, that the generations 2 and 3 level of the technology, what it should go into this women technology park. And also what she has suggested, I see an opportunity of using the women technology park as in local level incubator for the local women also. We have seen subsequently from Dr. Chitra that she has brought what are the real challenges, but in case of the heterogeneous education's background of the woman, and also that converting every woman into the entrepreneurs, that's not possible. In entrepreneurships, obviously every trainee cannot become an entrepreneur. So I think the important point what Dr. Shashibala Singh has brought should give our the women technology park to evolve into its next phase. It is not that we only bring a bouquet of technology and that's try to train the should be done in to the need of the dominant livelihood system, where their role is the strongest link utilizations. And now technology for improving the the capacity and the outcome of these WTPs to a higher level. So that's very the encouraging. And Dr. Naval Kapoor, as I think all of you will agree, has opened up a totally new directions and the plethora of opportunity. What could be the Ministry of Tribal Development, the tribal the opportunities with the tribal research institutes, the tribal health and nutrition portals. Many of our projects are related to the health and nutrition. So there is an way of convergence. The traditional knowledge and the tribal the hubs, there is a huge potential of of convergence. The clean water and sanitations initiatives. Actually, what I say that this is an area where we can claim that already DST seeds, the intervention has been upscaled, because the iStupa is a project which was first supported in Ladakh by the the seed division itself, and now we hear that it has been taken into 26 different places. The going online, the goal program, that is a very we see the joint initiative of the Facebook and ministry, and these are the things which these are the things even Dr. Joshi, you see the tribal ministry is trying to to take the technology level up, and that's the way the supply. If we want to first fill up all the the level 1 technology and then start, probably we will miss the bus. We have to do this parallelly. So that's like you see that that is the Ministry of Tribal Affairs the opportunity. What I have already told that we will follow it up with a number of the convergence opportunity, especially in the context of the mapping of the tribal empowerment, the areas. And I always believe that the tribal, the livelihood can be a source of our sustainable development goal. We can teach the, the world from the tribal livelihoods, and it is very important that we must capture and present it before the sustainable development the communities of the world. And Professor Basu wonderfully, actually the first lead sessions I find the three different categories of the the most needed sections of the community. The first one was for the women, the second one for the tribal, and the third one is for the the Vyangans. And Professor Basu in a very the wonderful way have talked about that what are the systemic gaps where the assistive technology remains at the research level itself. It is true that in the country around 98 to 99% of the assistive technology, even the smallest one, we import. And I think this is the area we are trying to work over. At least I am seeing for the last 2 years. And I really request because I do not have a huge the presence of the industry here, but the representative of industry as a FICI, please, if you can bring the industry the interest generate in these sectors, there is a huge opportunity, because otherwise even for a small requirement we are spending our the foreign exchange, which is not a very good way of Atma Nirbhar Bharat. So this is an area I believe that this in the priorities, this should be in a very higher priority. Like Professor Basu has identified about the continuous awareness creations, multilingualism needed, and the the niche and the small markets for companies and startups, how that can become a feasible and the viability. So that is a challenge before the the business domain. Dr. Chitra, basically out of the experience of a WTP, has brought out that the system, the challenges between the before making in WTP sustainable and viable. And then Professor Gurumurthy's again the presentations. This is the way we believe that from the DST side we must look into, because this may be a level 2, level 3 level the technology, but we must look into that technological interventions for the improvement of the efficiency of the total tribal livelihood systems with the interventions of the technology. But only one of my suggestion is, while implementing this technology development and implementations and deployment is a different paradigm. While the implementations of the paradigm, we have to look into their livelihood systems and also the indigenous knowledges and in alignment with that what probably that should be considered even during the development of the the technology also. So his idea of the seed, flower, and fruit gives a new the wind in the thinking of the seed division itself, and what we have heard from the Punjab State Council, which is the BRICLINK technology, which has been well awarded and well established technology, and now through the network programs which is supported by the SSTP programs of DST itself. So we are trying to take this skill built up in this technology across the brick kilns of all over the country. And here we again need FICI's the collaboration, so that we can not only FICI's but others, all stakeholders collaboration to take it across the brick kilns, because this will not only improve the local resource utilizations, but also will take care of the environmental the preservations, which are the two most important part of the sustainable development. So today's from the socially relevant STI's point of view, especially the social infrastructure point of view, we have we have found out that out of our existing initiatives and also the new initiatives, and especially from the interministerial collaborations from the Ministry of Tribal Affairs, we can create a new, the empowerment and the strengthening mechanisms, and we believe like that will be a new, the pathway for strengthening the Atma Nirbhar Bharat program of the Government of India. And again, like I thank all of you to be a part of it. Please, if you have any suggestions, if you have any questions, I'm a little disappointed that we are really failing to invoke questions in the mind of you, because when you say that the Ministry of Science and Technology, our role is science, technology, and innovations, and the core of science, technology of innovation is the question in your mind. And if we fail to invoke that itself is a failure on our part. But I think with that point, I will stop here, and we'll look forward tomorrow. From the STI interactions from the field level, like where we'll see the out of the experience of many of the NGO, non-governmental organizations and the startups for the requirement of the knowledge organizations collaborations, and also the issues for strengthening the science and technology absorption capacity within the community. So with that, if you have any comment, because we have some time. So if you have any comment or any issues we want to bring, still we have some time. Thank you very much. If not, then we should, I think, end this, the first day of the 7th week. And I thank all of you on our behalf, and welcome, and I welcome you and invite you for tomorrow's sessions at the same time at 2 o'clock. Thank you. Good evening. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Datta.